Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video I will be delivering another crochet scarf for beginners tutorial. It's very easy, it's an easy stitch and it's kind of fun. Makes you think just a little bit, but yeah, the scarf that we're making today definitely works up easily. So you should be able to make this in about an hour or two. Once again, and I am not sponsored by them, that would be nice though, is this yarn is from Hobby Lobby. I don't see it online on Amazon or anything, so I don't have a link for you, unfortunately, but it's called Royal Gorge. And this yarn calls for a 5mm size crochet hook, but just like the last tutorial, I'm going to be using a 7mm. You're going to need scissors to cut your yarn at the end of the project, and you're going to need a darning weaving tapestry needle to weave in that initial tail as well as the ending one after you fasten off. Let's get started. So as always, we're going to start with a slip knot. So wrap it around your finger, twist exchange, wrap over, pull this one over that one and off your finger, while pulling your finger up like that. Insert your crochet hook. Once again, this yarn calls for 5mm. I'm using a 7mm and that is US. And then just tighten. So the multiples of this scarf is a multiple of 2 and then plus 2 stitches for the foundation chain. Okay, so let's first crochet an even number of stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I like to crochet my chains loose so that I have an easier time getting into them. Okay, I think that was 14. Let me count just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, okay. 15, 16. Alright, I like that width for this scarf. And now that I've crocheted my multiple 2, because 2 times 8 is 16, I'm going to add 2 more stitches for the foundation chain. So 2 more chains, 1 and then 2. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the 5th chain from the crochet hook. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, those first 3 chains, that's going to count as a double crochet. Okay, normally we would go back to this 4th chain from the hook. That's where we insert our hook to make our first double crochet, but because of this pattern we're going to crochet into the 5th chain first. So we're going to make a double crochet, so let's yarn over. Alright, and now we're going to go back to the 5th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 5th chain from the hook. And now we're going to insert our hook into that 5th chain. You guys know I like to get 2 little loops there. Yarn over, pull through to the front. 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. Alright. So we have this chain 3 there, and then we have that chain, that 4th chain from the hook that we skipped, and now we have this double crochet that we just made in the 5th chain. For the next double crochet, however, we're going to yarn over, but we're going to go backwards into that 4th chain that we skipped right there. So we're going to enter that chain there. Okay, so yarn over, enter the chain, yarn over, pull through to the front. Like that. Okay, and now we have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. Okay, and so what it does is it creates this crisscross. Okay, now you might be wondering, okay, so what's next? Well, we're going to continue in this crisscross pattern. And by the way, this is called the cross double stitch, if you're wondering. So we've utilized, move my big finger out of the way, we've utilized that chain right there. That's the 5th chain from the hook. That was that first double crochet. Then we went back to the 4th chain. This is the next chain right here. So that would be the 6th chain, but we want to crochet into the 7th chain first. So yarn over, and then we'll go into the 7th chain there. Yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Okay? And then you'll see that 6th chain, nothing has been done to it. So now to create the crisscross, we're going to put our next double crochet, yarn over, into that chain before. So just enter it, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Okay? So now we've created 2 sets of crisscrossing double crochets. Let's do it again. Yarn over. Okay, once again you may be wondering, what's the next chain? Well, this chain has that first double crochet in it right there. So this is the next chain. But you always skip the next chain and go into the one thereafter, which is there. Okay? So yarn over, go into that next one, and make your double crochet. Now for the next double crochet we yarn over, but we go back to the chain that we skipped, which is there, like that. And now we've done the crisscross 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Alright, let me show you something that's going to make it a little bit easier for you too. Okay, so this is the next chain. We skip that chain, we go into the one thereafter, which is there. You know how I like to get 2 loops, right? You can get 2 loops for the first one. Yarn over, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Something that will make it easier for you is that when you go, you yarn over and you get ready to put your crochet hook in the chain that you skipped, only go through the 1 loop. So I don't know if you can see, but there's just only have 1 loop there. Okay? It just makes it easier when it comes to pulling your yarn back out and through to the front. 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, this is the next chain, skip it, go to the next one, enter the chain, yarn over, double crochet, yarn over for the next double crochet, but go back to the chain you skipped and create your double crochet. Once again, this is the next chain, but skip it, go to the one thereafter, put a double crochet, then we yarn over for the next double crochet, but we go into the chain that we skipped just a few seconds ago and create the double crochet. Okay, you're going to continue doing this until you get down to 1 chain. So yarn over, here's the next chain. We skip it though, and we go into the one thereafter, which is there, and create a double crochet. Now we yarn over and we go back to the 1 chain that we skipped, which is there. And I'm just going through 1 loop there. Okay, now we're down to our last chain, and to make it symmetrical, you guys know I'm a symmetry freak. Over here we have the chain 3, right, which counts as a double crochet. So all we're going to do is put a double crochet in that last chain. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Alright, so that's what we have. Isn't that pretty, especially with this color, this colorway? I love it. Alright, so now we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we are going to put a single crochet in every stitch below. Okay, so we're going to put a single crochet into this stitch right there. Okay, the stitch that the chain 1 is coming out of, that chain 1 won't count, but the single crochet that we're putting in there will. Alright, and then we're going to put a single crochet into the top of every stitch. So slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2. Okay, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2. Okay, you notice that I'm not yarning over before I enter the stitch. Slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2. Okay, so just work your way back across, just putting 1 single crochet into every stitch. And the reason that we're doing this is because we want this crisscross effect to look the same on one side of the scarf. So that's why we're using this very small, barely noticeable stitch to get ourselves back over to the other side, and then at that point we can pick up where we left off. Okay, and then we're at this chain 3 there, so we just enter the top chain of the chain 3, yarn over, pull through to the front, and yarn over, go through 2. Alright, now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, okay, so it'll match that initial chain 3, and then we'll turn our work, and now we do the same thing. So this chain 3 counts as the double crochet for that single crochet there. Here's the next stitch, but you know, to get that crisscross effect, we always skip the next stitch. So we yarn over, skip this single crochet, go into that next stitch there, the stitch thereafter, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Now yarn over, and we go back to that stitch that we skipped, that single crochet, and just slice the icing off the top of the cake, putting your crochet hook to the back, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2. One more time, yarn over, this is the next stitch, skip it, go into the stitch thereafter, slicing the icing off the top of that single crochet, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And you'll notice that there's a gap, as there should be because you skipped it. Now yarn over and go back, say, oh yeah, forgot to get you, I'll get you now, buddy. Yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Okay, one more. I knew I said that was the last one, but I spoil you guys. Alright, here's the next stitch, skip it, go into the one thereafter, yarn over, create your double crochet. Alright, there's the gap, yarn over, go into the skipped stitch and create your double crochet. Okay, so you'll just continue in this fashion, you guys. So we'll continue across. Remember, once you get down to this final single crochet, you'll put a double crochet into it so that it's symmetrical. This chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, will match the double crochet that you put in that final single crochet. And then you'll chain 1, turn your work, put a single crochet into that very first stitch, single crochet across, and start doing this again. So you're just alternating between these 2 rows, between row 1 and row 2. Okay, I'm going to crochet on this for a little while, and then I will meet you guys back on camera. See you there. So I'm about done with this skein, but there are a few things that I wanted to highlight before I ended this video. Okay, so as you can see, I am working on my single crochet row. This is the first thing that I wanted to highlight. When you get here, you might be very tempted to go into this chain 3 next, okay? Because it kind of looks like that's the next stitch right after that one. But don't forget this last double crochet back there. It's sitting behind because of the crisscross nature of the double crochets, but just make sure you take a good peek to make sure there's no stitch there where you should put that single crochet before you go into now the top chain of that chain 3. That was the first thing I wanted to highlight. Alright, 1, 2, 3, turn your work. Alright, so now the next thing I wanted to highlight is just where to go in when you do the second double crochet of the crisscross. So obviously, you know, here's your chain 3, that's the next stitch, we know we skipped that, and we go into the one thereafter. So yarn over, skip, one thereafter, put our double crochet. Alright, now we go back to the one we skipped, so we yarn over, and I didn't know if I gave you guys good enough views before, but just go in there like that. You don't even need to look in back yet, but if you were to look in back, this is what it would look like. Okay, so you see how you can see the top of the stitch there, and it's coming out the back. Okay, then you would yarn over, pull through to the front, and then you would have your 3 loops on the crochet hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Let's do another one. So yarn over, skip, go into the one thereafter. Now go back to the stitch you skipped. Yarn over, and as I said, it can be kind of weird trying to, go back in there, or you may be unsure as to where to go. But if you just see this front right there, just stick your hook in there and trust that it has gone in the right place. Now rotate, and you see that it's coming out the back as it should, and then there's the top, there's that icing that you've sliced off the top of the cake right there. Okay, now we yarn over and then just pull it back through to the front, leaving 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Alright, the next thing I want to show you is just that I usually get into a rhythm when I'm crocheting. So this stitch right there has a double crochet in it, so I know that this is the next stitch. But I know that for this first double crochet, I go into the one thereafter, which is that one. So skip, and then thereafter. So yarn over, and now I'm about to kind of go into the rhythm. Alright, go back. Skip a stitch, go into the one thereafter. Double crochet in the one before. Skip a stitch, go into the one thereafter. Double crochet in the one before. You see how it's like very rhythmic for me? It's like skip, okay? Skip, the one thereafter. You could put a metronome to this. Go into the one before. Skip, go into the one thereafter. Go into the one before. Okay, and that's also something that allows me to get through these projects really fast. I'm creating a rhythm and then I'm sticking to that rhythm, and not only is it helping me to maintain, accuracy and precision, but it allows me to get through my crochet projects faster, because if I'm in a rhythm, then I'm not stopping here to think about this or, getting distracted by that, right? Okay. And then you guys remember on the end, don't forget the single crochet there. So yarn over, go into the top of the single crochet, and just make your double crochet. It should be symmetrical. So chain 3 here, which is for that double crochet, and then 1 double crochet there. And I'm going to end this scarf with a single crochet row. So I'm chaining 1, turning my work, going into the same stitch that chain 1 is coming out of, and I'm just going to put single crochets all the way across, okay? Just so it has more of a firmer and more established edge. Alright, and don't forget this chain 3. Remember, the chain 3 counts as a stitch. The chain 1 on the other edge doesn't, but that chain 3 counts as a stitch. Chain 1, cut your yarn. You want to make it long enough so that you can weave it into your work. Alright, fast enough. And now just weave in your tails. So I'll put it through the darning weaving tapestry needle and just go through some stitches in one direction. Like that. Pull through. Alright, and then rotate and go in the other direction through the stitches in slightly different area. Pull through. Okay, and then cut it down. Then I go to the other end at the very beginning and do the same thing. And when you are starting out with that slip knot, be sure to make your tail long enough so that you'll be able to easily weave it in through the stitches. You know what I mean? Like if this tail was super short, it would be hard to weave in. So just think about that as well. But you're gonna have to weave it in at the end, so let's make it long enough. Alright, pull it through like that, stretch it back out, and stretch is a bad word, but shape it back out to its original form. Alright, And this is the scarf, you guys. Isn't this a beautiful pattern? I really love this, so I know you guys will as well. And because we do the single crochet, keeping the front side of the crisscross double crochets on one side of the scarf, that means that it's going to look different on both sides. So there's going to be a slightly different sway. So for this side, you see they're kind of going like that. But for this side, they're not only upside down, but it's a different sway as well. So yeah, as always, I'll try to leave a picture of the entire scarf. It's always hard to get it all in here in the video with my area that I'm working with. But hopefully you have enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.